Wow, I'm actually kind of surprised everything worked correctly the second time through, at least the build did. And remember, if you see any error message here, try flipping over to the QA, try comparing your code to mine on GitHub, because it's so incredibly likely that it's just a tiny typo. So at this point, it looks like the build successfully ran. All that really means is that we built our images, pushed them off to Docker Hub, and then ran some commands against kubectl on our production Kubernetes instance over here. Now, before we try to actually test out our site inside of Kubernetes or anything like that, I want to very quickly open up Docker Hub. I want to look at some of the different repos that we have inside of here. How about, say, multi-server? If I look at multi-server and then look at my tags, I'll see that both the latest tag and this new long tag right there were updated just 2 minutes ago. So that definitely means that I now have a permanent backup of my code as it was at this commit right here, or the image, I should say. And I also have a completely up-to-date tag of latest that new engineers can pull down in the future and know without a doubt that, yeah, they're running the latest version of this image. So that's definitely cool. Now, the next thing I want to do is go back over to my Kubernetes dashboard. So once over here, I'm going to refresh the page. And then I'll take a look at the workloads tab. So now over here, oh, this is pretty awesome. I see that I've got my client deployment, Postgres Redis server worker. All those deployments have been created. You can click into one of these deployments and you'll see all of the different pods that it manages, along with a couple of graphs detailing the runtime information about this deployment. So here's the managed pods right here, a little information about each one that's running, and of course we can click into each of those and see information about that individual pod as well. Now if I go over to services, I'm going to see a lot of information over here as well. So there's our set of cluster IPs. There's, say, the client cluster IP, all the others for all the other different sets of pods we have inside of our application. Now, very interestingly, you'll see that we have an ingress service right here, and it has an endpoint of like */ and */ API. These two endpoints that you see right here are essentially routes, and those are the different routes that we had set up inside of our K8's ingress service.yaml file. So remember, inside of here, we set up the two paths. We have path of / and path of /API. So that's what these two endpoints right here are talking about. We still have the old load balancer. I shouldn't say old, it was just created, but it's the load balancer that we were talking about in the last section. So remember, the ingress right here is really just a config file. This config file is being shipped off to the ingress controller. The ingress controller is both making changes to Nginx and hosting Nginx simultaneously. Now, some other quick things I want to take a look at. If we look at configuration, we're going to have some config maps, which we haven't quite spoken about too much, but we do also see inside of here the PG password secret that we had previously created. We also see a service account that belongs to Nginx Ingress. This service account right here was created by Tiller when it went through all that setup of Nginx Ingress for us. And the last thing I want to show you is storage tab over here. So you'll see that we have a persistent volume claim created. This is the database persistent volume claim that we had created to make sure that we had some permanent storage allocated to Postgres. So we can click into this. I don't know if it's going to show us the actual, well, here we go. So here's the volume right here. So we can click on this volume, and this is a volume that was created by that persistent volume claim. Now, if we want to, I'm pretty sure we could actually go up to our navigation menu up here and take a look at the storage for, is it data store? No, I forget exactly where it sits on here. Okay, maybe we'll come back to that, but I thought it would have been really nice to look at the persistent disk dashboard and see if that one was actually created over there, but I don't actually see anything on here related to the persistent data. Okay, so anyways, last thing we'll do, we'll go back over to services, and we're going to try visiting our IP address right here again. Now, if everything worked correctly, when we click on this, we should see our React project appear on the screen. I don't know what to expect here. I don't know if it's going to work, but whatever happens, we'll just deal with it accordingly. Okay, so I'm going to go to that address. I see the privacy error here, which is totally fine. Remember, this is something that we saw in our local environment as well. We are going to fix this up very quickly, so this is a very temporary thing. So I'll go to advanced and then proceed. Yeah, oh my gosh, I can barely believe it. It actually worked. Or at least I think it worked. Let's actually try entering a number here. I'll put in 4 and submit it. And then I'll refresh. Oh my, I can't believe it. It actually worked. Yes. Oh, I'm so happy. All right, my friends, there you are. There you have it. A Kubernetes cluster running in production. Now we're not quite done. We have deployed this, we're just about there, but we still got this HTTPS error, so clearly we need to do a little bit work there. I also want to very quickly walk through the process of making a change to our source code and then redeploying all these changes and making sure that we can see the updates appear live at this address as well. So let's take a pause right now and tackle a couple extra steps in the next couple of videos. So I'll see you in just a minute.